We all know this problem. We are practicing for hours and hours over years and still something is off. Our hand synchronization is off. Hey Guitar Champion, what's going on? Justin Hombach here, back from my practice cave, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to show you the only and the best solution for your right and your left hand synchronization problems. Here we go. In today's video I'm going to show you the perfect lick to work on your left and on your right hand synchronization. And the lick is, well, let me better tell, the licks are every lick that includes the right and the left hand. Because there's no such thing as one lick that you can practice to work on your right and on your left hand synchronization problems. No, every video who's going to tell you that is a lie. It's an absolute lie. Because it's not about the lick that you're practicing. There are certain licks for certain situations. I'm going to speak about it later. But more important is the method how you practice those licks and how you get an awareness of why you have a hand synchronization problem. So in this video we are going to talk a lot about methods, how you can practice on your left and right hand synchronization. But if you want to have really some licks and some exercises to work on your picking in general, then check out the Then of Speed Picking, my online course about speed picking. You will find the link in the description box. Go to that link and get yourself the Then of Speed Picking and boost your picking to the next level. Okay, first, what causes left or right hand desynchronization? Well, short answer, to be honest, one hand is slower and the other one is faster. But why is it so? And here I have three main categories where our problem could come from. The first one is the speed. The second one is endurance. And the third one is the control. Speed is relatively simple. It can be that one of our hands is slower or even faster. We're just not locking together. One hand is not playing the same 60 notes as the other hand. Endurance, we all know the problem. We are starting to play, and for the first bar it felt really right and it went right. For the second bar as well, and in the third bar we are getting slower. We don't have the control anymore. We don't have the endurance in our muscle groupings to keep up with the tempo. You've been there, you've done that, you know those problems. The third one, control, is a little bit more complex. And here's where I say most of the hand synchronization problems are coming from. Therefore, it makes a lot of sense to categorize movements for a certain technique. For example, just for example, in our speed picking right hand technique, we can have problems with downward pick slanting, upward pick slanting, two-way pick slanting, inside picking, outside picking, string skipping, the snap movement. So there you can see there are already 7 movements or 7 kind of different things which can cause problems in our right hand. So let's categorize those for later. In our left hand, for example, when we are playing linear 3-note per string kind of runs, which is really typical for metal and shredding, we could have problems with the position shifts, with slides, with weird fingerings or unfamiliar fingerings, with an ascending movement, with a descending movement, all those kind of stuff. So why is it important to categorize those kind of movements in a certain technique? To really name the problem that can cause your left or right hand desynchronization. And therefore you should go to the next step. And this is chapter number 2, analyze your playing. How do I analyze my playing? How do I find out which problem cause my left and right hand desynchronization? Is it downward pick slanting? Is it upward pick slanting? Is this a position shift in the left hand? Is it kind of a weird slide or whatnot? How do I find it? How do I find out what the problem is? I always record myself when I'm practicing with a DAW into my interface, and this is something I highly recommend to everybody. You have a PC, I think, out there. Get an interface, get a DAW, get a way to record yourself. This is a really good mirror to find out, am I right, am I sound good, am I tight, do I have the correct tempo and whatnot. Because when we are practicing our instrument, we are focusing so much on certain things, on the visualization, on the fingerings, on the scales that we are playing, on the right hand, all this kind of stuff. But we often misses out key things that can cause some problems. And we can find out those key elements when we are recording ourselves, when we are listening to it back to the recording, you know. This can be a punch in the face. I've been through that a lot, thinking about, man, I'm rocking this technique, I'm fast as hell, I'm so good, and then watching the recording and thinking to myself, no, not at all. And another really good helpful tool to mirror yourself is film yourself. Especially when you have a slow motion function in your mobile phone. And if not, there are a lot of apps out there who can provide your camera with slow motion. Or another trick is film yourself, put the video on your laptop, on your PC, put it inside of a Adobe or Sony Vegas or whatnot, and then just go frame by frame. And there you can perfectly see, okay, do I have here the downstroke, do I have here the upstroke, do I use the middle finger, or maybe do I skip one finger, or I let loose two fingers at the same time. All this kind of stuff happened to me. And I realized all of this by, just filming myself, seeing it slow-mo in reverse, doing all this kind of YouTube videos, and then thinking after recording it, God damn it, that was bad. So this is a way how you can find out what your problem is. Now, before we're going on to the how to work on your problem, I want to show you a demonstration lick, which I'm working on right now, and where I find out some synchronization problems, and then you can realize a little bit what I mean by those categorizations. So the lick that I was practicing, where I realized, okay, I have a problem in my left and right hand synchronization, is a simple descending 3-note per string 2-way pick slanting lick. So now, what was the problem while I was practicing this? I realized, okay, playing it fast, it really felt smoothly and cool and nice. And then seeing the footage of the slow motion camera, I realized I did not do this. I did this. And this is not right. Those are 4 notes and then 3 notes, and it's not alternate picking, it's economy picking between 2 strings. Not cool. After I realized this, I was kind of devastated and really disappointed of myself, because I always thought, okay, man, I'm so good, I'm so fast, I can play it so easily. But no. It was not right, it was not correct, it was not my decision to play it that way. And my goal as a musician is to always have the control over what I'm doing and to make a decision. So here, speaking of categorization, the problem is inside picking, it's 2-way pick slanting. So, from my left hand, the problem is that I've struggled with it for years now, is that descending movements, like those kind of pull-off movements, kind of sound crappy, is always, my left hand is slower than my right hand. So I have to practice on both. So left hand, I have problem with descending movements, with the tempo of descending movements, and right hand, I have the problem with inside picking and 2-way pick slanting. Right. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I work on those kind of problems. So when it comes to speed, I have a lot of solutions for the speed problem on the Ultimate Guide for Speed Picking. Please check out this video. It's one of the my best videos that I've ever made, in my opinion. It's quite long, but it's definitely worth it to check out. When it comes to endurance, I have a method that I call the Marathon Man. This comes from an idea of my mother. My mother used to be running marathons a lot, and I asked her lately, how do you practice for a marathon? How do you train for it? How do you train to run 42 kilometers in a certain amount of time? And she replied, you have 2 methods. You are taking a distance, like for example 10 kilometers, and then you are trying to run this distance faster and faster and faster. First maybe in 1 hour and 30 minutes, then 1 hour and 20 minutes, 1 hour 15 minutes, and so on. Or you will not increase the tempo, you increase the distance. For example, going from 10 kilometers to 11 kilometers to 12 to 13, 15, 20, 25, 30 and whatnot. And the same thing you can transfer on guitar. For example, when I have this lick, the lick complete goes like this. Oh, hey, Ingvi. Goodbye, Ingvi. I, for example, can take a shorter distance, like the first 6 notes, and increase the tempo, starting, for example, on 100 ppm, going to 110, 120, and so on. And then on the other side, I can take a tempo, for example, on 90 ppm, and instead of increasing the tempo, I can increase the distance, going from 6 notes to 12 notes, to the another 6 notes, which makes 18 notes, and so on, and work my way longer and longer and longer and longer, and trying to keep up with the tempo. You can take the same for just simply playing your right hand through a certain tempo and then increasing the distance, like trying to get 60 notes on 180 ppm for 1 bar, for 2 bars, for 3 bars. Just increase the distance or increase the tempo. You have those 2 ways, and with those 2 ways you can work on your endurance. Alright, how can I work on the control part of what I'm doing? And therefore, first we need to find the correct tempo. The tempo where we really know, okay, on this tempo I don't have left and right hand synchronization problems. I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. I have a good body awareness, and I'm just sure that I know what I'm doing here. How can we find this tempo? We can find it with the 7 of 9 method. That means I record a certain passage, like for example the first 6 note or even the whole lick. I record this whole lick, let's say the whole lick, 9 times, and 7 out of 9 times I have to have it correctly. If I don't have 7 out of 9 times it correctly, maybe for example just 5 times or 4 times or 6 times, then I have to slow down up to the point where I can play a lick totally completely, totally correctly 7 out of 9 times. Because when you are doing 7 out of 9, the number actually just don't care. I just take 7 of 9 because of 7 of 9. But I think when you can play something 7 times correctly, then you have control over what you're doing, and it's not based on luck. And so when you have found this tempo, then slowly increase it and really focus on that category which causes your left and right hand synchronization problems. For example, my inside picking. And just work again like with the marathon man method, just work my way up. Really starting simple and slowly, getting used to the technique, going slightly faster, up to a point where I can't play again 7 out of 9 times, like again 6 times or 5 times, then I have to slow down again. So for example, I can play 7 out of 9 on 90 ppm, then I go to 100 ppm, still works 7 out of 9. Then I'll go to 110, here it's only 5 out of 9. Then I go back to 105 ppm, for example. There, the 7 out of 9 will work, then I go 107. And more, I get the right awareness, the right body awareness, the right knowledge about my movement in the higher tempo. This costs time, a lot of time. If you want to have progress in your guitar playing, you need to have one skill. This is being patient. It can cost like half a year, 6 months or whatnot to go to a certain level that you always wanted to reach. But hey, come on, what are 6 months compared to 6 years of guitar playing or 16 years of guitar playing? What is 6 months? Nothing. So stick with it. Stay with those kind of methods. Always control yourself. Always control yourself. Am I right? Am I correctly? No, let's do it a little bit slower. Okay, here's a problem. I can work on that. I can watch another video from Justin. I can subscribe to Justin's channel to be even better, to make progress. Just kidding. But those are the ways how I would work on my left and right hand synchronization. Not how I would work, how I work on my left and right hand synchronization problems. Because yes, I still have problems with certain situations in my left and right hand synchronization. And sometimes speaking is even worse. So let's summarize. If you have a problem with left and right hand synchronization, find what the problem is. What causes the problem? Categorize your movements in that lick that you are playing right now. And this lick that you are practicing or playing right now is good for your left and right hand synchronization because you have that problem in this lick, so you can work with this lick together. You don't need any lick from any other YouTubers or some guys who are promising you that you can go to the next level with that one lick. No, that's bullshit. Use the right methods how you practice, and with those methods I can kind of guarantee you, as long as you stick to it, that you will reach the next level. So thanks for watching this video. Feel free to leave a comment, feel free to leave a like and a subscribe, and check out the Den of Speed Picking if you want to know more about speed picking. Link again is in the description box. See you in my next video. Cheers so far and stay progress. Bye.